Alright. Welcome in, welcome all to another PGP Siblings video. You got Panda here, and today we are here with my recommendations on how to farm HSP and XP. Now, as you know, there are new NPCs down here, and then the original NPCs are up there. So I'm going to give you 3 of each NPC that I recommend you guys battle repeatedly for XP. But the first thing I'm going to tell you for grinding is if you get bored of grinding the NPCs, go play some PvP, 1v1s, 2v2s. If you manage to win, it does still give a significant amount of XP and HSP. So don't think, oh, I have to do the NPCs over and over and over. That is the furthest thing from the truth. If you would like to do one round of NPCs for the day to get your dailies, and then you're already bored, go do some PvP. Or if you get bored of PvP, vice versa, go do some NPCs. So without further ado, let's go to our first NPC on our list. So the first NPC of 3 for the new guys I would recommend is Tetsu here. He is the Subterra Brawler. Honestly, he puts up next to no fight all the times I've battled him. We battled everybody 10 times to test them out. Tetsu was definitely by far the easiest. You pretty much play your own card. If he gets gate advantage, most of the time you can outpower him. Or if you get lucky and he doesn't get gate advantage, you can still easily outpower him on your own cards. Second on our list of new NPCs, we have Mizuki here. She is an Aquas brawler. She is also relatively easy. She does use some G boosting, sometimes dive mirages, but overall, she is not honestly too difficult to beat. We did about 10 of those 10. I believe we only lost twice due to one misplay and one we just straight up lost. So she is definitely the second easiest for our playthrough so far. And I would recommend repeatedly farming her. Third and final of the new NPCs, we have Akari here. She is a Chaos NPC. She's also relatively easy. Out of the 10, I believe we only lost 1, but she did put up more of a fight than the other 2 NPCs on our list. Honestly, if I had to say, she is the more pay attention when you play, whereas Tetsu's the turn your brain off and play. So without further ado, let's get into our 3 old NPCs that we would farm if you want a bit of a challenge. So if you remember, the NPCs down at the bottom there are now considered the easy NPCs. They are going to scale always a level below you. These NPCs, however, will scale to your level, as well as give you better rewards compared to the NPCs down at the bottom. So if you're going to be farming these NPCs, because you want a bit of a challenge, number 1 I recommend is Daichi over here. Daichi, also a Subterra Brawler, by far the easiest. He doesn't quite overly pose much of a threat other than his Reaper. But the second you take care of his Reaper, you can swipe him right under the rug with no problems at all. Second on our list on the more challenging NPCs is Sayuri. She is an Aquas brawler. The only problem I had with Sayuri was if you had all your Bakugan on the field and you are playing Aquas, you use Holograph Dive. She then uses her Serpenoid's holding ability, and you don't have another Bakugan to throw out, then you are essentially just in an infinite stalemate, and it like never ends. However, if you're playing Aquas and you don't have that ability, or run into that issue, or you're playing any other attribute, she is by far the second easiest one to deal with. The only problem you'll face with her is using her Serpenoid's hold ability, as well as if you give her enough time to stack up with Holograph Dive. Those are the only problems we ran into. Out of the 10 we did, we lost 3. Again, 100% second easiest one out there, in my opinion. I recommend farming her anytime you get bored of Daichi. Now the third returning NPC, as I like to call him, or the third of the more challenging NPCs, as most will call them, is the Darkest Brawler, Reina. She was here in the alpha. She was quite the menace to deal with back then for me. I guess I just never made proper plays to beat her, but I almost always lost. However, this time we won 8, we lost 2. Now, if you have good ways to counter G manipulation, 100% I would battle her over any of the others if that's what your deck goes after. Because she is still quite easy and a reliable source of HSP and XP. Now, if you're wondering, what if I have a friend? What if we would like to farm 2v2s outside of PvP? Well, for the returning NPCs, I would recommend you guys battle the Pyrus and the Darkest duo. I have found more than often you can win against these guys with a 60% win rate to a 75% win rate, depending on what you guys run. They are relatively easy, especially once you learn the in and outs of how they work as NPCs. 110% would recommend these two for the 2v2s. But also, what if you have 2 friends and you guys all want to play together? In that case, you have 2 farming methods. Number 1 is you party up and you queue up for 3v3 in PvP. I have yet to do that, so I cannot tell you how efficient it is, but again, if you have friends and you all would like to group up together and you end up with a team of 3, PvP is a solid option for you guys. However, the only other PvE option you have, which I also have not done, so I cannot attest to how easy or efficient it is, but if you got a group of 3 friends and you want PvE grinding together, come and battle the Pyrus, Aquas, and Chaos trio right over here. We haven't tried them yet. They do seem to give a lot of XP and a lot of HSP. So if you think you and your friends can handle a 3v3, I would definitely recommend coming over here and farming these guys. Alright, and to circle back to PvP, when you guys do 1v1, maybe even 2v2 and 3v3, if you are a lower level than your opponent, you will be met with a prompt asking if you would like to level up to their average level. Now, if you level up to their level, you get normal rewards. But if you choose to stay lower level than them, then you get increased rewards if you do win. So it's kind of a, you can be equal and get the proper rewards, or if you want a bit of a challenge and you do come out on top as the victor, you will get extra HSP and XP. So do with that what you will. This is our farming guide video for the Bloxugan beta so far. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and so you do not miss any of our playthroughs or one-off videos that we do in the future. We love seeing you guys around, interacting with you in the comments, and I will catch you all on the next one. Also, do comment what your top 3 NPCs to farm are, because this is all my opinion on what to farm. However, some people will have different opinions. I, for one, would love to hear who you guys choose. Or even if you're a PvP player, let me know what version of PvP you choose to farm. I will see you guys in the next one. Have yourselves a blessed day.